people around me, I see it. But I feel that there's a process in there to really focus this energy. And I would like to be able to.
But you see, that's what messes you up. You get too in your head about how to flow the energy that just naturally flows. You started out, and we appreciate it so much, that you recognize that you have access to this energy that creates worlds. And so it's logical, since you have access to it, that you want to take it and that you want to focus it. But you began thinking about it as a quantifiable amount. You're even wanting to give some of it back. And we want you to have the feeling of this infinite flow. You can't get it wrong. So just flow it and see how it goes, and flow it and see how it goes, and flow it and see how it goes, and flow it and see how it goes. And in the offering of it, there is an immediate and constant replenishing of it.
Yeah.
The way you garner more of it is by expending it. So the more you flow it, the more comes. The more you flow it, the more comes. The more you flow it, the more comes.
I feel that.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's unlimited.
Good.
And I feel that I'm getting good at flowing this energy.
So what are you reaching for here? We can feel that you're leading to something. What is it?
I want to be more focused in the...
But you see, you can't ask to be more focused without putting yourself on a disc that says, I'm not focused enough. This is the thing that this gathering is helping you to understand. There's a self-judgment about where you are that is slowing you down. That's why we were playfully saying, unless you do something to mess it up. I want to be more focused means I must be less focused than I really want to be. And that's the momentum that you've got going.
But it's all about expansion, right? So I'm expanding in my understanding of this energy.
And is that inevitable?
Yes.
So is it something you have to work at?
No.
There. So now what?
It's so the value in wanting to focus this energy more directly.
Yes, but what you want to do is feel yourself into the focus rather than think yourself into the focus.
Okay, I do that. I can feel the focus. And so I'm feeling this focus, and so knowing the power of this energy and knowing that it's unlimited, knowing that it's flowing through me.
You see, what you're forgetting, and we're happy to let you ramble a little bit here because you represent what a lot of people are feeling in wanting to be deliberate creators. But the one thing that you are leaving out of this basis of the things that you are saying, you're forgetting that there is a momentum. There's a momentum that does the work. There's a law of attraction that does the work. There's a momentum that does the work. And several of the things that you were expressing here are about you trying. And of course, we teach focus. We teach identifying what is wanted. We ask it every time we begin a gathering. Do you know what you want? Of course, focus is an important part of it. We're just wanting to guide you just a little bit into a heavier dose of allowing and a softer dose of trying. Because in the trying, in the acknowledging that you want something that you don't have, you establish yourself on a vibrational grid that establishes resistance, that even though you've been asking and source is flowing and flowing, you're blocking it with your judgment about where you stand. So we would far rather hear you say something like, I'm doing really good at this and doing better all the time, and I don't really know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm following my nose, and I'm mostly really having a good time. And people around me are too. Rather than, I realize that I am a flower of energy, and I want to be the teacher of this, and I want to be of advantage to others, and I want to get into a place where I can really uplift others. There's resistance in that sort of focus. Maybe you can't feel it. Can you hear it a little bit? And that's what we're going to sort of soften and sort out today in these last hours that we are together. And you are the perfect person to get this ball rolling. We love it when you've identified what you want. That's step one of the equation. And we love explaining to you that everything that you need or want to fulfill everything that you need or want is flowing in this effortless, because it is law-based, and there is momentum, energy. and that somehow you have to find a way of just relaxing into the momentum. And that's what we mean by getting out ahead of the manifestation. If you're looking at your life and you're acknowledging, well, I'm doing good here and I'm doing good here, and this could use a little work, and I'm doing good here and I'm doing good here, and this could use a little work. Every time you're finding the judgment that this could use a little work, you're clogging up your own pipes. You're setting resistance into the recipe that then you begin to feel the tension of. And that's what makes people effort. That's what makes you try. That's what makes you struggle. And that's what makes you tired. Where if you get out ahead of it, if instead of saying, there are these things that I need to do, if instead you're out ahead in terms of what you want to do, so that you're focusing on the subjects where the energy is already known by you to be free-flowing. We're not kidding. If you could just find the things that you adore, the things that feel the best to you, and for just a little while, give those things your undivided attention, everything that has been murky, everything that has been slow, everything that has been clogged up will begin breaking free. This is the art of allowing, not the art of effort.
So when we see something in our lives that we want to be better, how do we reframe that then? Instead of, like you said...
For example,
I set up appointments. I take my time to find myself or get myself into a great space, a really fun alignment. And then I set appointments for the future. And when I set my appointments, I'm in a place of inspiration and I'm feeling really great. And then the day happens, the day of the appointment, and I've got several in a row and some of them whatever. And I show up and I'm in the moment and it's happening now. And I realize that I'm not where I want to be. How do I frame that right here, right now, in the moment with the person?
But that's the thing that we're wanting you to understand. Right here, right now, is momentum that will play out from what you've already got set in motion. And that's not the time, right here, right now, to try to change the direction of the momentum.
Right.
That's the time to acknowledge the momentum and appreciate the momentum and be playful about the momentum and watch the unfolding as evidence of the momentum. And you can't help but establish a different intention for different momentum, but you just don't hit it so head on. The moments in which you want to focus with the intention of increasing momentum are those moments when you are feeling your very best. Period. If you're having dinner and you all are laughing and having a good time, focus and say, this is a momentum I'd like to keep going. And then relax into that and watch how easy it is to keep that momentum going. Everybody just playing into it. How easy it is to keep that momentum going. It's recognizing momentum that is flowing and then letting it flow rather than recognizing momentum that isn't flowing and trying to get it to flow. Because when you recognize it isn't flowing and you try to get it to flow, you add to the momentum that's the anti-momentum, so to speak. You clog your pipes more.
Okay.
These are subtle. You are leading edge creators. You know it all. You know that you are creators. And you know that you do it through focus. And you know that it is about energy. And you're coming to know that it is about the way you feel. And now you're coming to understand the difference between resistance and allowing. And in resistance, there is always a slowing of momentum, period. And in allowing, there is always a speeding of momentum. When you release the brake, the car is going to roll down the hill. It's going to free flow. When you pull that brake, it's going to stop it. You understand resistance and momentum. You've just got to figure out how resistance and how momentum play out for you, you see. And if you'll pay attention, you can go down your list of things you do, and you can acknowledge resistance, allowing, resistance, allowing, resistance, allowing. You can go down your list of people you spend time with, resistant, allowing, resistant, allowing. You can go down your list of just about everything, the aspects of your own life experience, resistance, allowing. And what we want to remind you is, don't take the resistant aspects and try to fix them. It clogs your pipes. Take the allowing aspects and focus upon them until the momentum will be such that it will sweep everything in its path in the direction of what you want. You could have 9 things not going well and 1 thing going well, and in the 1 thing, resistance-free, going well, as you give it nearly your undivided attention, in that free-flowing momentum, that momentum will sweep up the other things, and before you know it, all things are going. Or it could be the other way around. You could have 9 things going well and 1 thing not going well, and you could fixate on the 1 thing not going well, and you could introduce such resistance into your equation that suddenly nothing is going well for you. You know that. You've lived it, you see. You just didn't know it in relationship to the law. And now you do.
In relationship to the law.
The law of attraction, the law of momentum, the law of inertia, the law of resistance, the law of allowing, the laws of physics.
Yeah. And I feel that happening. I very clearly feel that happening,
Good.
and I keep myself wrapped up in the good things on very intentionally. And so part of this question, it involves, I have been volunteering. It's a big part of my life. And
Volunteering to do what?
All kinds of things, to give back, to help people.
For example?
For example, I'm involved in building a school in Nepal for the kids that don't have homes. And it's a boarding school. And so this has been a great experience for me because I understand this law, and I understand focusing on the positive outcome of the school. And sometimes I feel that it's a little bit difficult when people want to talk about the trouble in Nepal and the issues and...
You think?
And so part of that is getting out ahead of that manifestation. And
that's pretty heavy duty. That's pretty heavy duty. And so what happens is you get your quest to be of value out ahead of your practiced allowing. And then you have a rough ride on your way to making the world a better place. You pay a pretty big price when you're efforting your way to that. We would start with easier things. Do you go there? Have you been to Nepal?
Not yet. I'm going this year.
And how long have you been involved in the process?
5 years.
And so, can you see how you've been of greater advantage not being there than if you had been there? Because there's less resistance in your vibration from a distance than if you're up close.
Absolutely.
That's the kind of thing we're talking about.
Well, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, is I want to, because I'm going there this year, I want to get out ahead of that manifestation, and I want to, when I am there with the kids and building the school, I want to...
Does anyone feel the struggle in this enterprise? If you were standing in his physical shoes, would you go now? So, your intent... Your intentions are clear, but the momentum isn't calling you. Your sense of duty is. Your sense of wanting to make the world a better place is. But there's resistance still within that.
Agreed. And so this is what I'm talking about, focusing
Well,
that
stay
energy.
off big things like that. To go to another country where there is a huge amount of momentum going, they have a lifestyle going on, and to swoop in with very well-meaning intentions to make their world better by your standards. You have to convey so much of what you know to those who know something entirely different. There's a huge amount of momentum that you would have to overcome, or that you would have to get going in order to overcome the momentum that they've got going on.
I understand that.
And so this is what makes people not know their power. They take on big projects out of responsibility or out of virtuous, well-meaning intent before they have a clear understanding of their own power. And then they struggle within the enterprise and not very much gets accomplished. We're not trying to talk you out of anything. If this time-space reality has inspired within you a desire to do something, then by all means, we think you should move in the direction of that. But we wouldn't go until it feels like the most natural, easy flowing thing in the world. And that is hard for people to hear, because in most cases, nearly every one of you in this room would say to us, I hardly would do anything then, Abraham. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't go to work. Pretty sure I wouldn't go to the family reunions. There's a lot of things I do out of obligation and responsibility. And we say, yeah, you buck your own current all the time. You buck your own current all the time. You do what you should do rather than get into the current of your own natural momentum, you see.
And that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, we'll be talking about it all day here today.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you so much.